Third attack on Guild Mouse 5. Welcome back to another Bit Legend video, fellas. So, the first attempt, we had one mess. We missed the debuff for Gibby's full launch. In the second attempt, I did all the ultimates without any problem, but I did 2 million less because the first attack was 10 million, the next attack was 8.3-ish. Still good numbers, but what the hell, man? It just shows you one absorb from this boss will just wreck your day. But I mean, it's still good numbers. It's still good numbers. That will probably cost me being the #1 DPS in my team this week. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna be salty about it. But who knows? We'll do the third attack. I think I'm the last one in my team to finish things up, and so I might be able to show you the damage of all of the Team 1 players, and we can see how we did after that. So it's fun to brag. It's fun to do the whole thing. Just be aware that RNG is a big part of this. And then the reason I mention that is not so much for the competition stuff. I mean, your people are going to do well. They're going to do well. But when I look at other teams, I'm trying to decide, okay, did all my players, did they all manual their attempts and give it a good shot? Or did people, did they autopilot? Like, who's busy? If I think somebody autopiloted, I actually consider moving them down to another team. You know, I've got a handful of people. You know, if you have 30 people in your guild or any team, you know, people are gonna have issues and whatnot. And I know a handful of my guys are actually really busy right now. So try to go with the flow instead of being the leader that's all, you know, yelling at people and waving your fist. Figure, okay, guy A, B, and C, these guys are really busy this week. I'm going to rotate them down a team or two. That way, if they have to do autopilot, it's not going to impact us so negatively, you know, things like that. At least that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, so if I do the debuff now, I don't think now is good. 21 has never been a good one for me. I think Vashir would go next, but he doesn't have enough SP to do his, and he doesn't have the buff anyways. I think it was 16 last time where everything started to line up for us. Hopefully we'll get lucky. But again, the SP procs, it's all random. So just have to deal with it. Other stuff. I could actually try to be even more try-hard, and I could try to leave winless with full SP and leave Vuk with full SP so that I could pump in more SP procs into Vashir and Gibby. I think that the effort for that is high. The reward for that is not as high as the effort, and I'd probably be losing pretty close to the same amount of damage as I'm gaining. So, because like, you know, winless, he's not far behind as far as total stats and gear and things like that. There's not a massive gap between these guys. When you look at the DPS meter at the end of the fight, you have to remember that Gibby and Vashir are getting the buff, so that's a big part of it. And over time, those kind of gaps between players will start to close a little bit. Anyways, don't have to worry about it too much. 9 also has a healing pet on for me as well. But feeling good, man. Feeling good. Even though we rolled 2 million less than I wanted. And I think 2 million less could have been one of the big Slayer attacks, could have been 1 million, but it got absorbed. And then you have a million shielding that you have to eat through. Okay, 16 is not when it lined up for me, so I'm just going to pass on the buff there. My tank needs to get more initiative bar full. Needs to do more. But it could be around 16. I think 16. Because the turn rate should stay the same. The only thing that's different is going to be who gets what SP. So I think we're slowly getting there. Who knows? I could just be guessing and hitting buttons, to be honest. Winless is logged in. So maybe he's going to do his attacks. Or maybe he just relog in, I don't know. So now I need Gibby to get back up, get his SP back. 17. I don't think we buffed it 17. Or did we? No, because that would have been Vashir being wrong. I really think we did the buff at 16. It just depends on where the SP is. There we go, Chime procs. Chime has done great with me so far. Been very happy with the Chime, and I'm planning on running the same or similar team next week. The Leech Heal, also kind of nice. The Chime hits 3 people, so if you get super lucky, you can do the Leech, which will heal the Engineer, and then the Chime will hit the other 3 people that need it. Do I debuff here? I don't think the SP is in the right place. Vashir's going to go next. He's not going to have enough SP, and then I don't think now's the time. So this will be a different attack from the last one. Well. Little Angel doing stuff. Nice. If I get plus 17 on everything, I think that'll give me 8k total stats. And I'm at 7k right now. Am I 7k? Or am I 8k now? I don't remember. It'll give me the next 1,000 wherever I'm at on total stats. Honestly, not the biggest thing in the world for a tank, but you know what? I'm doing my best. I'm not going to buff because my tank is not ready to attack. Gibby's going to go next. And then I think Bashir, yep, there he is. I think next tank rotation, we should be there. So this is, we're going to kind of squeak it in right in the middle or towards the end. Gibby's going to go again. No, it's Vuk. Tank is still not ready, so we're holding the buff. Because I got to remember, I potentially need to do 2 debuffs. So I need to save enough to have 2 debuffs ready. So it's probably going to be the next time my tank attacks. Yeah. Watch me, I'm probably going to go back and watch the second attack that I thought was perfect and find a bunch of errors with it, and that's going to make me feel bad, but whatever. The damage is higher across all the teams that I've looked at so far. So the chances of us killing this thing's pretty good. Also, when I first started filming, the boss had like 70% hit points. Now the boss is below 50%. So I think we're doing the right things. So yeah, next time tank goes, he's going to have to use the debuff. He's going to run out of time if he doesn't. Chime proc. Yeah, I'm basically just watching the tank's turn rate. I don't know if I want to make my tank's speed go up or down, honestly. What I'm probably going to do is whenever the patch comes out that brings the checkpoints for refining, that makes it so I can't drop below 15, I'm going to plus 16 everything, see how that does, how much money I've blown on that, how much gold, and then I will... do I buff now? I think I buff now, and then I'll figure it out. Based on plus 16 all. Yes, I'm going to buff Gibby. That could have been a big mistake. I knew Windless was going to go. That's fine. He's going to get full SP. Oh no, Gibby's going to go before my tank. I think I screwed it up again. See, that's the thing. I thought the turn rate was with respect to all the others. My tank had a higher turn rate, initiative bar. He had a higher initiative bar than Gibby, so I thought Gibby was going to go. Oh man, that's a big oof. So there's blocks on that one. There's blocks, one absorb. That felt bad. It was either waste the buff or waste a buff or do it and not waste, but like, I don't know, whatever. Let's get it on Vashir. My tank's turn initiative bar has disappeared because that happens from time to time. We are going to do the full launch on... Was I supposed to do the full launch? I don't know. We might have just got lucky and didn't get blocked. So we messed up Gibby's full launch again. No debuff there, but Vashir will have both the buff and the debuff. A little bit frustrating. I thought that the initiative bar was with respect to everybody on the screen. And my tank's initiative bar was higher than Gibby's. So I thought that meant my tank was going to go first. So I screwed that up. But since there's a lot of RNG in the fight, the RNG can actually help you when you screw up or hurt you when you do perfect like we saw. So I'm very curious to see where these numbers end up because that's the same screw up I did on the first attack and I did 10 million. And I believe I did things perfect on the second one and we did 8.3. So, the fight that keeps on giving. We're gonna be learning on this one for a while. And I think I have another debuff on the tank. So maybe that'll be nice. But makes you think. It is kind of fun to have something to work on. All those absorbs are the opposite of fun though. That felt really bad. But dude, some days, man, my lungs are just wrecked. Ugh. Anywho, let's wrap this thing on up. And hopefully put up good numbers. If I get at least 9 million on this one, I'll feel kind of okay about it. I was hoping to do 10 million average, but who knows? The numbers could be anywhere. All I said is like if you attack for 1 million and it gets absorbed, you just lost 1 million damage, and now you have 1 million shielding to punch through. So it could really just be one big attack like that. But it's definitely progress. I can't wait to put together the DPS chart from last time and show it to everybody. And also, I wonder, I know some people put in requests for the helmet that I showed you guys, the tiara. I don't know if it was for cosmetic or for wearing. It was probably for cosmetic, but still, it's something. For cosmetic stuff, we really just do like a little loot raffle RNG thing. 6 attacks left. Let's do another debuff because that might be last chance he gets. Hopefully I'll get some big attacks off everybody. Kaboom. I don't like how it has a bunch of multiple numbers on those kinds of attacks. I'll do the mount skill because why not? Because it's difficult for the player to read it. Like, it looks cool, like, wow, look at all those numbers pop up. But if you actually want to, like, read and see how much damage your character's doing, how much damage did he just do in that attack? There's no way to read that. You could, even if you stopped it frame by frame, you'd have to try to count, okay? So 93.45 and then multiply it by how many different pop-ups you see. It's not readable. It looks kind of cool, but it's a mess. Also, I think it slows down combat. We have a lot of attacks that just the animation hits multiple times, which means the animation takes a long time. And I think that's the error. It should be simple animations, and the battle text popping up should be super simple, super readable, you know? But whatever, it's super minor stuff that probably no one else cares about. But I tell you what, there we go. I could probably switch Little Angel to another pet. The shielding is nice, it does make me feel more comfortable. I did have one attack a week or two ago where the Little Angel shielding actually saved a life because I didn't want to use a heal. The shielding that the character built up over time actually saved his butt. So that's pretty nice. And the thing is, Ricky hits 3 enemies, so it's not great damage on 1 enemy. If the boss has 25 attacks, the boss isn't going to hit me 25 times because it has some attacks that hits the other guys. But if the boss even hits me 20 times, and my proc is about 50% chance, I'm really getting 10 proc, so I'd do 60k damage. The upside would be 60k damage extra wearing Ricky, versus having a heal team and shield team. If you add up how much it's doing, it's actually quite nice. Because I'm usually doing like 1.5k healing and shielding to 5 targets, so you multiply that by 5. If it's just output versus output, Little Angel wins, even though the chime is over healing. Although, since it's only the shielding that's really benefiting me, you could actually use the Earth Pet here instead. Earth Pet has less total output than Little Angel. However, if you upgrade it all the way, it's 100% proc, and you are getting more shielding because the chance is higher. So if I didn't have Little Angel, I'd probably wear an Earth a lot. But since I have Little Angel already upgraded, there's no point in me doing both. But Earth's a decent pet. I think the percent on Earth is a little bit low, but whatever. And Little Angel is good for attacks like this. They attack everybody proc. Okay, so hopefully everybody gets off a big attack. I'm going to do the mount skill here because why would I not do that? Hopefully Gibby can use his 4 SP before the boss gets around again. Yep. Now, if you really wanted to min-max this fight, you could have all of your Bounty Hunter DPS hour on Frenzy. Gibby doesn't get to use his attack. I mean, technically he does. You could have all of your Bounty Hunters go super low speed. That way their full launch does more damage. That way they use less SP. And you can have your engineers go super high speed so they're giving a ton of SP. That would be the way to really, really min-max it. If there's any other guilds out there that are giving this a serious try, all of the tanks, we have 6 tanks in the guild, all of the tanks are engineers using the system override debuff on the boss, and we're trying to line up our full launches. If you have NG DPSs, they have the super algorithm, the SA buff, and we're just trying to line all those up and do it. But if you want to go one step further, the next step would be to lower the speed. It only really matters if you're using a team comp like mine, but lower the speed on your bounty hunters and then up the speed on the NGs. So like I said, they're using less SP, they're getting more SP, and their full launch does more damage under the buff. Okay, boys, moment of truth. Moment of truth, how do we do? How did we do? We're getting super close to dropping that extra piece of loot. Let's see if Winless has attacked. So Gibby's done his 3, Vashir's done his 3, I've done my 3, Vuk's done his 3. We're waiting on Winless. He just logged in, I saw him. So I'll ping him, I'll let everybody know that our gear is all coordinated and now is the best time to go. But let's compare the damage that everybody did. I got crushed this week. I did 10 million again. So I did 10 million, 8.3, and then like 9.7. I'm just going to call it 10. So we did 10, 8, 10. And what's really bothering me is I got to watch that second attempt because maybe I screwed something up. But the first and third attempts, I messed up Gibby's full launch, and I did 2 million more damage. What in the world? So it feels bad to not be rank 1 on the damage this week. However, it feels really good to see a massive increase on everybody from last week. That's beautiful. Gibby had an average of 10 mil, Vash over 10 mil. That's like a 10.3, 10.4 mil. Beautiful, beautiful. So we'll see what Winless does. I'll probably start putting together the damage chart. I just take a bunch of snips and cut it all together and throw it together in Paint and just do it that way. See how everybody's doing. It's also kind of how I keep an eye and see, okay, did this guy do manual or did he do auto? Is he too busy? Should I put him down in a team? Are you having a bunch of disconnects? That's one thing I watch. We've had a handful of disconnects. Every week we've had a couple people disconnect. So I don't think anybody here is disconnect yet. There's a lot of time left, and so they're just taking their time attacking. But if you disconnect, you lose the attack, and then it only puts you at 2 attempts. So if someone has an unstable connection, I move them down in a team so that if something happens, it's less of an issue. But, woo, the boss just dropped 2% while I was just yapping there. So look at that, man. I'd say a little bit over half of our attempts are gone, which makes sense because the boss has 35% left. We're definitely going to kill it this week. Beautiful stuff. Keep in mind, all the people you're seeing, they probably haven't yet used all their attacks. And everybody's in different teams and whatnot, so you really can't compare, like, rank 10 to rank 1. Doesn't make any sense. That's why I compared all in the teams. I'll show you guys Vashir's axe, and I'll tease that for the future video, fellas. Where's he at? Where's my boy at? Not Vashir. Vashir is probably going to be... Vashir and Gibby are probably going to be the next folk to make the axe, but there it is. It's a beautiful thing. Look at that. Kind of messed up that the 0 SP attack does literally twice the damage of Thunder Fury. What? A lot of players are hoping that there will be a nice thermal pet added in the future because there's no thermal pets right now. But Diver is wearing Chime for us anyways at the moment, so it doesn't really matter this week. Fairly similar to, it's kind of like a cross between Thunder Fury and the Slayer set weapon. Because if you look over here, super nice consistency. I mean, come on, it's 500%. There's no range there with a 50% crit damage. And then if we look at Winless has Slayer. So it has a higher percent on the 0 SP. And then here, this one doesn't have the crit damage, and this is a range. So the average here is going to be 500%. So the Slayer 5 can roll really, really high, but it can also roll really, really low. And I would rather have a consistent average than have a really wide range. I try to minimize RNG. I try not to embrace it. I try to minimize RNG. And also the 50% crit damage is just going to bring it over top. Plus, I believe it has like 300 or 400 more total stats than any other item except for Thunder Fury. But it's expensive, fellas. 111,000 gems estimated cost. Now, you might have like half of those materials already just from playing the game, but still. All right, boys, as always, appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.